During World War II, on December 7, 1941, Japan attacked U.S. military forces in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. 2 months after this horrific experience, President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued an order that all people of Japanese descent living in the U.S. must be relocated to internment camps, even if they were American citizens. Camps were primarily in the western half of America. This became known as the Japanese internment. Up to 120,000 ethnic Japanese were sent to 10 desolate camps, each surrounded with barbed wire and armed guards. Prisoners were forced to line up 3 times a day, eat lousy food, and even clean themselves in mass showers. When the Japanese people were let out of the camps, their homes were gone and they had to restart their lives. Some lived in poverty or even rougher conditions than the internment camps. In the years since, many Americans have learned about the internment and have grown to be ashamed of the government's decision. As President Gerald Ford noted in his apology to former Japanese prisoners, the internment was a setback to fundamental American principles. The Japanese internment was a failure of American justice and a massive human rights violation. However, unlike the Holocaust, it was not a genocide. The reason why Japanese internment is not considered genocide is because America's objective was not to kill ethnic Japanese within our borders, as opposed to the Holocaust where the Nazis' goal was extermination of the Jewish people. Despite this critical difference, there are a number of disturbing similarities. Both were set in the time frame of World War II. Both initiatives were racially motivated and were executed based on race. Both held prisoners in concentration camps. Another interesting point is that decades after the events, both Germany and America compensated their victims and descendants $89 billion and $1.6 billion respectively. The purpose behind Japanese internment was to get revenge at the cost of a racial minority. The Japanese internment and the Holocaust have similarities because of their mutual hatred of a specific ethnic group. The Japanese internment was a tragic event that could have been prevented if only President Roosevelt had thought about his options more carefully and applied his actions to the groups who actually committed the attack on Pearl Harbor. A number of authorities, including the United Nations, the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, and the organization United to End Genocide, all have similar action plans on how to deal with genocide. That includes warning and educating the public about current and past genocides, protecting civilians in areas of armed conflict, and ending impunity through judicial action in national and international courts. Through learning history, through vigilance, and through an international united front, we can prevent future genocide.